Hi friends, welcome to day 3 of I Am Not a Robot. So thus far in your 2-day/3-day experience, you have learned about Ayurveda, the doshas, their elements, their qualities, and how to use them to your advantage, and in particular, how to use them throughout your day and the year so that you can better go with the flow and just make your life a little easier. Today, we are going to talk about the doshas, the elements, and their energies, and how you can use them with communicating and relationships. So this is a really, really fun one. I've actually, from working with a private client, I was actually asked to do a dosha party at some point, and I sat down with couples and told them about each other's dosha and their communication style, which was really fun for them, and it was really fun for me. And I'm going to do that with you today, even though I'm not going to sit down with you and your partner, but hopefully you will be able to sit down with your partner or use this information to better understand your relationship with your partner, your boss, a friend, whoever it is. So if we come back to all of the doshas and their energies, right, let's break down what some of those communication styles might look like, starting with Vata. And Vata is that person, someone that's Vata dominant, will have more of that mobile energy, that moving energy, which will make that person more creative with their language. Maybe it will make them a little wordy with their language. Maybe they will have a hard time articulating what they are trying to get across, right? Because there might be that inability to focus, or they just love using words. They're a writer, so their communication style tends to be just over the top. It's too much. And then also with Vata, how they're going to be receiving communication. And this isn't for everyone, again, that's Vata dominant, Pitta, Kapha dominant. This is generally speaking someone that is dominant in that dosha. How they'll receive information is they might be a little more sensitive. So with that creative energy, and I hate to use this example, but I'm going to use it, right? The emotional or creative artist, because Vatas tend to be more on that spectrum. So they might be a little more sensitive to how they receive information. Now Pitta is that fire energy. They're sharp, they're witty. So how they speak is going to be very sharp. It's going to be directly to the point. How they take in communication, or how they take in communication is going to be, they're going to want to receive it like they speak it. So if you are speaking in any other manner, they can get easily irritated. Easily irritated if they're not getting the information they want, or if you're not getting straight to the point. Now Kaphas are earth and water. They're a little slower moving. It doesn't mean that they're slow, right? They tend to be more thoughtful. So when they are speaking, right, they're actually going to think before they talk, and then they'll articulate what they need to get across. And the same for when they're taking in communication, right? When everything comes in, one way they might take in that information is it just takes them a minute to process it. So again, their comeback or whatever they have to say to not even retaliate, to respond, is going to be maybe take a little longer. They also might be more sensitive to communication that involves a lot of change, right? Because they tend to be not only more grounded, but they can have a hard time with change. So if you've been doing something at work a certain way for a very long time, and you are communicating that there is going to be a change in how that is done, right? That can be hard for that person to take in. So some other great examples here is, I feel bad, I'm sorry guys. I feel bad because I keep using my dad and my husband as an example. So my dad is very Vata, and he's very, very Vata imbalanced. He's all over the place. And my husband is Kapha. And so my husband is very thoughtful with how he speaks. He takes his time to respond in a very thoughtful manner. And when my dad and my father are interacting, my dad will ask my husband a question. And again, it takes him a little longer to respond. And I can just see my dad's head spinning, right? It's like he is about to like take off like the Tasmanian devil, because he like can't even wait for my husband to respond. And whereas on the other end, my husband is like, I don't even know what your dad is saying, because he's all over the place with what he's talking about. Some other examples with some of the other doshas. Let's use Vata and Pitta, for example. Pittas like things straight to the point. So if a Pitta dominant person is communicating with a Vata dominant person, say that Vata dominant person is just being very wordy and just really creative with their language or their response. If a Pitta person asks them a question, that Pitta person can get really irritated or angered if they're not getting what they need right away. On the other end of the spectrum, right, a Pitta person, they can be really direct with their language. It can be sometimes even maybe sound or feel like a command. So someone that is Vata dominant might feel really sensitive, or it might hurt their feelings when, excuse my language, but the Pitta person isn't trying to be an asshole, but it's just the way that they communicate. They communicate in a very direct way. So I hope these examples were helpful. And I hope you have some fun playing around with your homework assignment today. So your homework assignment is to pick one person today. So again, it could be your partner, it could be a coworker, your boss, your sister, whatever. I want you to see if you can identify their constitution with everything that you've learned thus far this week. And then just start to take note of your communication style versus theirs. And I know not when we have relationships with people, I know it's a two-way street, but by us doing our part, right, by us being more mindful, by being more purposeful with our actions and how we communicate, we're actually going to make this a lot easier on ourselves. Even if the other person isn't doing their part, it's still going to make things a lot easier. So once you identify that person, you can identify their constitution, their communication style versus yours. Can you then start to modify how you listen and respond to that person to create more clear or clearer communication and release any upset that may regularly come from your conversations? So really this can be with anyone. If you're up for a little extra challenge today, maybe pick someone that you feel like you've been struggling with, your relationship has been struggling, or your communication just has not been, I can't think of the word, I can't communicate. It hasn't been on par, we'll say, right? It's not where you want it to be. If you have any questions from today's video and or homework assignment, let me know and I will answer them in this evening's Facebook and Instagram videos. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Bye, guys.